those World Championship sleeves. He's rocking the World Championship hoodie. He's all ready for another World Championship. His die rolling skills were not very World Championship-like because Marco is the one leading the charge here, and he's doing so with his Dracotail deck and starting it off with Keto Dracotail here.
Yeah, this is a good way to start, of course, getting some more engine and getting access to the name that you want to have in your hand. Of course, the Lucias is a very good one since you can then normal summon it and then get access to probably the 5 mana in hand if we don't already have access to that. So we see some very classic Dracotail strategy over here, but on the other hand, Juho with the Vanquish Soul K9 strategy, we've seen that it was on the rise for this tournament, and a lot of players are actually playing this one, while it was not very played before, but we see that with only 2 losses, it worked very well.
3 materials from the hand there with the Dracotail 5 mana. One of them, I think, was a Fuvalos, of course, going first. Not going to be too important, but having multiple Dracotail names that we can fuse away here is so good, because as you can already see here, while we're resolving them, we will get more of those so important trap and spell cards. Rahu and Dracotail Horn already being set up here.
Yeah, very, very important on this one. And what I absolutely loved about the decks when they came out this side, exactly like the K9 strategy, the Dracotails, and of course Yummies, which we are seeing currently in this main meta, is that each one counters the other. So when you're trying to play activating cards in the hand and graveyard with the Dracotails, it will turn on possible K9 interactions here. But going back to a good old classic of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring will get the job done just as well.
And I mean, Marco did a really good job here by summoning the SP Little Knight already to play around cards like Infinite and Permanence. That was not what Yoho had in mind or in hand, but that Ash Blossom here possibly really turn ending here at this point for Marco.
Yeah, we've seen that before, of course, the Ash Blossom being very good, and we even see the Izuna right there, the K9 card, being so good into the Dracotail matchup, and yeah, Juho is gonna be able to XYZ summon, and probably is gonna be the Reaper, which is so good.
Not so quick though, he sent Jocko, so there must maybe be...
Absolutely. Maybe Lupus is in hand.
Gotta be, right? It gotta be, Yoho. Do you also want to get that one out of the hand? Surely you do.
There is also something else. The fact that there is the SP Little Knight on the field, you might not want to special summon the Lupus and try to activate the effect, because if you chain the SP Little Knight, then the Lupus will stay banished, and it's not very good. So we are going to stay there, and maybe Juho is just gonna start his turn like that. But this is a very good way to start your turn, because you already have 2 level 5 on the field, so you can do whatever you want. You can just get rid of the SP entering battle phase with those 2 monsters, or you can even start with the Reaper, which is actually the case here.
Yeah, and this is absolutely amazing to see this one, because Lupus is going to provide you with targeted protection, meaning that the SP Little Knight can't simply use this effect to get rid of the monster that we are making here, with Lupus being the K9 Ripper.
Very hats up from Yoho, and as you're paying attention here to the score from those 2 players, both of them 12 and 2, meaning if they can win this last round of Swiss here, they should be making their way into that desired top 8 top cut finish, where we are going into the single elimination stages of the tournament. So this match right here, right now, is what we like to call a bubble match here.
And we've seen that before. I mean, the Dracotail strategy, of course, very good going first, very good going second, but sometimes when you get cut off your resources like that with a single Ash Blossom or something like an Infinite Impermanence on the Arcalion, it gets very hard, and it is the case here for Marco. He tried to play around some interruptions and also kind of played around the K9 card with the SP Little Knight, but I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot, and the fact that there is the Horn is not that great as well.
Yeah, exactly that. And it looked like Juho has gone straight into the battle phase here and declared an attack on the SP Little Knight. We're going to be using Horn on our own SP Little Knight to try and get a draw from this. This could actually be very valuable.
I mean, you're going to have to draw very well here, Marco, to try to stay in this game, because Juho, it didn't play a lot of cards, to be honest, so he might as well have a lot of cards in his hand to keep playing. For example, the Raisin that we've seen drawn so often by
times again, for sure. Almost every Vanquish Soul player we've seen so far on Feature Match seem to always have that little abonnement of drawing Raisin on their opening hand, and then Stake Your Soul sometimes even with it. But here we are going to search for Izuna. And that now is Lantern trying to bring back one of those K9 monsters from the graveyard. What's interesting about the deck list from Yoho actually is that it seems to be like he's valuing the Vanquish cards a little bit more than the K9 cards, because he made some sacrifices. For example, only playing 2 copies of Noroi, which is not something you see every day. Chaotic Elements, though, as kind of an honorable K9 card made its way into the deck of Yuho, and he's going to search for... Oh, just take from the graveyard, that's totally fine as well. And he has more K9 access right away.
I mean, this is very good. Of course, Marco, he wanted to just cut the access of Joho to some more monsters with the Ghost Bell, but with the Chaotic Element, you are able to just get back the Jokull and get access to those monsters anyway. So let's see what Joho decides to show. It's gonna be the Lantern, and it's already huge, because you are going to be able to search with the Jokull as well as the Lantern, which is currently happening on the screen, and then you generate so much advantage that Marco will not be able to just get back in the game.
Yeah, I feel we could be seeing one of those 2 Noroyas here, because the normal summon has not been used, and Marco still has more than 2 cards, or 2 cards or more in his hand, so that does make Noroi a normal summon, even as it is a level 5. We already got to see the Ghost Bell stop the Lantern being able to try and revive from the graveyard. That's where Yokull comes into play here, and it's starting to really pick up a bit of face, but we also still have the... Feymena in the hand as well, with K9 Ripper still having that effect to be active as well.
Yeah, Yuho not even considered to negate the Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, was totally, of course, aware of the fact that there's a Feymena that needs to be checked with the Ripper, so really not making Marco, or giving Marco the chance to fusion summon on the opponent's turn. Oh, and we're searching for Force Release. Does that maybe mean that we have a case for K9 already? Very possibly.
Oh, wow, and we even have access to the Vanquish Soul cards. Getting access to this Mad Love is huge here, of course, because we can activate the field spell and get access to everything. And I think that Marco will soon recognize the fact that it's going to be so hard to get back in the game. Having access to this Reaper as well, so we're pretty safe for the moment, and we are going to just go through our whole combo.
Yeah, very well piloted there by Yuho. Unfortunately, Marco has tried to do what he can at this exact moment in time, but I felt that Yuho could have probably held back the Vanquish Soul cards themselves, and maybe at this point of the tournament, Marco knows what his opponent may be on, but being able to kind of hold back as much information as possible, but being able to go with the Dr. Madlove is going to be very, very extra on this one here, just to kind of cement a very strong position in this game number 1 for the all-important round 15.
Another thing given away here, but that is the usual trend at the moment for the Vanquish Soul K9 decks. There is no trap card, no Vanquish Soul Snow Devil in the main deck, as we did not search with Dr. Madlove. Of course, we could still just set it in the end phase with Vanquish Soul Star. That would be possible, but the usual approach to the strategy at the moment is to just not have that card in your main deck. Oftentimes, though, it will be in the side deck.
And to be fair, I mean, this deck is very impressive. The fact that the K9 cards are able to interact so well into the Dracotail strategy, as well as having a lot of non-engine, to be honest. We saw the Ash Blossom, we saw how much the Reaper was good into this matchup, and after that, being able to just play all these Vanquish Soul cards, I mean, this is so hard to stop.
It is, and this Vanquish Soul K9 deck, and the K9 cards in general, they are so popular this weekend again, because that is what so many of the top level players have figured out to be a good solution against the Dracotail deck. Dracotail is the most represented deck in the room, so you gotta find answers to it, and the answer may just be K9 Izuna, K9 Noroi, and the rest of the K9 bunch.
I mean, this is so much interactions right now. We still have the Reaper. The Reaper has not been used, and that is huge for Juho there. Because, yeah, you are still able to negate something like a Feymena, and we still have the Caesar values, so you can destroy something. You have the Nash Knight. That's a whole lot. One interesting thing, by the way, is that we didn't see the Nash Knight being activated. Sometimes we see that to get access to the number C104, but this time we decided that this card is probably better on its own.
Yeah. I feel like it is.
Nash Knight is definitely a little bit more premium in this scenario, because it can do exactly what we may see here is it can kind of absorb the Mululu, and it gives you a little bit more of a dilemma, because then you might have to use that Feymena that is in the hand as material rather than using it via its effect, which of course would be caught by the K9 Ripper. So there's a lot of back and forth that might start to proceed here. It's going to be very interesting to see how Marco proceeds in order to kind of pull this field apart that Juho has been able to kind of put together.
And yeah, we are going to react right away. Duo activated the
That was Rock of the Vanquish, yeah.
Absolutely.
And are we immediately going to also use Force Release? There's no way, right? We would just rather want to keep the effect of Ripper, don't we? Oh, he's considering it.
I think so, but we could...
Oh,
yeah, that's way better in my opinion. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. The fact that if you use it right away, there is no way Marco can just get away with it, because even if you chain something, the monster that you will summon will just get absorbed by the Nash Knight. So very well played here from Juho. And now, what can you do? You've used your normal summon. There's not a whole lot that you can do against this, and I think it's gonna be it very soon.
And okay, we are still fusion summoning, or what is this? Did we activate the effect of Malulu maybe as channeling one? We did, yeah, we did.
So we used priority there for Marco, and I think it was the right decision. Otherwise, Juho would just have taken priority and used the Nash Knight effect. And so we still have the Arsalian here. I mean, you get some resources back, so it's not winning yet.
I mean, this is pretty good, honestly. Look at this.
Good, yeah.
I think the most important thing with the Nash Knight was to make sure that the Mululu couldn't be used as the fusion tool, because the non-target ability would straight away kind of make that Ripper less of a threat, and that's where the Fey Mana from the hand could then possibly be chained before it can upgrade itself into the K9 Werewolf.
Totally. Absolutely right on that, and it looked really like Yo was completely pushing this game into his direction on the last turn, but Marco now with a Chainlink 4, I believe here, is just really pressuring back and may find his way back into this so important match here on the bubble in round 15 of YCS Bologna.
But I mean, Joe is still in a very good situation, to be honest. The fact that you have access to the field spell for the Vanquish strategy is very good against Dracotail, because you have the ability to protect the monster from destruction. And on top of that, you still have a lot of interaction. Having access to the forced release is very good, because you can then special summon the werewolf from the extra deck and just get rid of one card in your opponent's hand, which is crucial against Marco's deck, against the Dracotail strategy, because you want to have access to those monsters in hand to be able to fusion summon.
We're destroying the Ripper, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Wasn't able to use its effect, now gone. And that means that forced release all of a sudden that you were just mentioning also shot off. So I'm not even that sure whether Yo isn't that great of a situation anymore. 2 fresh spell cards from Marco too. He is getting back into this with no mercy.
Yeah, and we've got the Ketu already set up, ready to go. This is going to get a little bit extra premium on top of that, because the opponent controls a monster. So we're going to be able to probably work our way into a Gulamel, normal summoning down at the Lucius as well. We're going to be able to push so much more, and I think this is going to be interesting. We haven't even seen any kind of additional interactions from Marco. This is just pure Dracotail as it currently stands, and I think we're going to see their power to try and push through this Vanquish Soul plays. We do know that Juho does have the Azuna in the hand, which is currently active, and now that the K9 Ripper has left the field of play alongside with its material being at the Lupus, that is now in the graveyard, also ready to make an appearance should we need to, and create another Xyz monster that could have targeted protection, which is quite a big and important factor against the Dracotail strategy, considering we've already used the Dracotail pan as well.
Yeah, I believe the Lucius Bear actually was special summoned for the effect of Frixel, and the Frixel afterwards actually came back into the hand of Marco as well. Now Rahu Dracotail fusion summoning with the Urgula too. We are just making sure that we are pushing and pushing into this field. Yes, there's a Lupus, but will that Lupus be enough to protect us here?
And that's very impressive, to be honest. Like, Marco is playing very well to try to navigate through the interruptions of Juho right here. We see the Gulamel being special summoned, and I believe that apart from the Izuna, I didn't see some interactions in Juho's hand.
Yeah, I think we revealed the Raisin and a Lantern. Yeah, possibly the Lantern on this one. But even then, we still have the Vanquish Soul start. Not that it's doing too much right now, so keep that in mind. But
it is there.
Yeah, it's exactly there. It's still floating around. So if there is a Holy Sue in the hand that we still don't know of, that could cause a few more issues.
Ooh, destroys the force release, because why not? We could just clear it off. Sets the Sting. Sets the Flame, and all of a sudden, the state of the field has completely turned around. It was full of monsters for Yoho just a second ago, and all of a sudden, Marco is the one with 3 set cards and 3 monsters even more importantly.
And still we have the K2 Dracotail being activated, and that is actually very impressive. To be honest, I didn't expect Marco to get back in the game that fast and that well. And Juho, I mean, all the interactions that I talked about a few minutes ago, they are gone right now.
Yeah, and that should be a lesson for everyone watching at home. Like, the modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so deep. It is so about the very little plays, and then a whole situation can just turn around. It looked so one-sided for Yoho there, and out of so little, managing the resources perfectly that Marco had there, he is just coming out so strongly here.
Yeah, this is the one other benefit that I quite like about K2 Dracotail. It doesn't restrict you as much as Rahu Dragotail, making you directly go into a Dracotail monster. So it does open up the extra deck of Marcos a little bit more. And I think with possible spellcasters and dragons in the graveyard, there could be a very good choice here to allow this field to present itself a little bit more and maybe push to take the advantage in this round 15.
With fusion summoning, what even is left? What do we even want here?
Oh.
Is that Secretarion or Mysterion again?
I think it should be Mysterion.
Yeah,
It's
like Mysterion again.
Mysterion is very good into this matchup because you can literally, on resolution of a special summon, banish the monster, and that's very good, of course. I mean...
But what's going on? You don't see Mysterion the Dragon Crown that often, to be honest. And now in 2 featured matches today, we saw him twice. There's Ghost Spell to deny the Lupus anyway.
Wow.
So is this just our ticket for game 1? Okay, Izuna to put up some defense at least here from Yoho's side. But he banishes it right away.
Is there something else?
That's
it.
Marco takes game 1! Is the problem with Vanquish Soul. So let's see what Yoho's hand has for him here. Okay.
I hope there will not be a caster curse, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, the Purulia, we've seen that before, and this is a very good card. It is back into the side deck of a lot of players, and the Purulia is of course very good against the Vanquish Soul and against the Canine strategy because you will special summon a lot of monsters from the hand. Here we can see that the Dracotail is special summoned, and I mean, what can you do to play around this card, playing the Vanquish Soul Canine? You cannot go into the full field, but Holisu is a good way to try to play around it.
I mean, Holisu can just stay in the hand, right? That's the beauty of it. You don't need to summon it in this turn because it is a quick effect. You can just hold it and then summon it out on the opponent's turn, not giving any draws into the Mulchrami Purulia. So
I think that you can still choose to special summon it and then to special summon from the deck to get a little bit more advantage, get access to your resin, and then on the following turn you still have access to some more resources. It's all a game of balance, you know.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a draw to your opponents, but knowing that he plays Dracotail?
that's the thing. And I mean, what can you accomplish? Like, what do you need the 2 turns of searches for? I think whatever you want to search on the first turn can still be searched on the second turn. Therefore, I think it's probably just the correct decision to hold one of those Holisus to then just work with it on the opponent's turn. Forced release is being set here, so that is, once again, it didn't work very well in game 1, but maybe this time around it's going to help him more.
It didn't work at all, indeed.
Ooh, normal summon. So that is another draw from Marco. And he's licking his fingers. 2 draws already with that Mulchrami Purulia.
Yeah, exactly that. I think this is kind of what we saw yesterday with Leo versus Joshua. So you can kind of push into a Fuos or a Purulia, but it looks like Marco is absolutely confident he's got exactly what he needs because he's going to draw a Lockbird, which will not only stop Juho Grianao to push a little bit further for his searches, but will also stop that Purulia, giving Marco even more draws. So it's very good when you see that happening because you kind of value and know exactly where these interactions are going to be coming from.
And seems like Juho was fine with that as well because he had the chance to possibly negate, of course, the draw Lockbird with the Ripper, but he's like, okay, I will accept the fact that that is now the case. And I mean, maybe we have more K9 cards in hand to actually even profit off of the fact that we can now for free summon from the hand once more. But let's look at this. You're looking into his own extra deck. What are the options that we're carefully putting into that before the start of the tournament?
Yeah, I believe that we definitely saw a K9 Lantern, so we could possibly see him going into a National Knight would still be very, very important. And as you mentioned in the previous duel, we could see ourselves going into a C104, which could cause a little bit of issue for Marco here. So maybe the draw was a little bit kind of premature, but we're still going to see how this is progressing, trying to see what could be presented. We kind of should know the Vanquish Soul K9 strategy from this point on, and I feel that Holisu being held for the next turn could be a little bit more impactful as well.
And once again, we see that the Reaper has not been used, and I think that is very clever. You know, you want to use the Reaper for a very, very important card, and this card being most of the time the Faimena, which is so crucial in the strategy. So Joho recognized that and decides to stay with this card on the field, not using the effect. And once again, we see the Nash Knight. It stays like that. We keep the Nash Knight on the field, and I think that this is very clever. I mean, this is way better in this matchup against the number C104 because, of course, you can literally chain block all your effects.
Yeah, I absolutely love the fact that we're trying to keep Loopers under the K9 Ripper as well. You kind of saving that, and it looks like we're going to see a Nibiru, the Primal Being. This has to be answered here. Are we going to value the targeting? Yeah, that is going to be instantly answered.
Do we have 5 mana after that? That is the question. No 5 mana, but still, Reaper is not here anymore. I mean, it does not have any effect. It is still there for the first release, but, I mean...
Another Purulia.
Which is actually good.
It is good. I was saying that just keeping a possible Holly Sue for the opponent's turn is the way to go, but now you have to deal with the exact same card once more.
Branded Fusion!
What a way to start to try to break the field of Juho. I mean, this field looks very breakable, but with a Branded Fusion, I mean, it looks very good for Marco right now.
What are we going to send here? What are we going to go into? We saw multiple approaches, either going for the Sanctifier Dragon or for just the regular Albion. And which one? Oh yeah, Marco doesn't even know. He knows he has different options, but he's trying to figure out what's the best one here. Of course, Lubalion also being something that is not out of the question.
That's interesting, to be honest. We have not seen a lot of players going to Lubalion right away. But it might be the case here. Marco just trying to think carefully about that. Of course, he doesn't want to make any mistake as he's 1 game away from top 8.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think this could be trying to maximize the potential of Branded Fusion if you did open up the Dracotail Frixel, because Dracotail Frixel is one of the materials that wouldn't be used for a Lubellion naturally. You can still discard it, but it looks like the Frixel is still in the deck, so we're probably going to be going down the Sanctifier route or the Albion route.
It is the Albion. There it is. We're using the effect. Oh, okay, we're not even playing around the Ripper negation here, so maybe Marco trying to bait his opponent here into negating the graveyard effect of his Dracotail Frixel. Yoho, you want to negate that maybe?
So I think we were going to be looking at more so Nash Knight on this one to absorb the Albion. Could be quite important because then it means the Albion can't be used as any material. It doesn't hit the graveyard for this particular moment in time, so there's not going to be a follow-up that we could be seeing in the brand new Fallen and the Virtuous. But it also still leaves those 2 unknowns. Well, one of those being forced released along Juho's spell and trap zones, but also one other unknown that might need to be considered as we try and navigate this field and to repeat what we already saw in game number 1.
And yeah, we're going to set the K2 probably. Such a strong card going second, of course. And yeah, we can see all the power of Dracotail right now. I mean, look at that. This is absolutely impressive. And the fact that you have the branded cards as well, you literally have 3 Branded Fusion in your deck. You've got Branded Fusion, you've got K2, you've got Raru. That is impressive.
When are we starting to add Shadow Fusion to the mix, right?
I was thinking about that.
More fusions. I mean, in Genesis, you're actually doing that, so it's not that far away. But Marco, not with a Shadow Fusion in his deck. I think his deck is still pretty decent already. I don't think he needs the extra fusions. So let's see what route we're trying to go for here. We have baited out the Nash Knight already, but there is still plenty more to deal with.
Yeah, a couple of different options we could possibly go into here. So I think we're looking at the Secturion Dragon. That could be the one that enters the field of play. Remember that we have Albaz in the graveyard, so bringing back Albaz off of the back of this Secturion Dragon's effect could trigger a chain of events, which would be very, very interesting to see.
Okay.
And yeah, of course, but keep in mind that there is the force release, which could deal with the Albion, with the Albaz. Sorry, of course.
Correct. Still a very good way of trying to draw out that force release, which is what we might see here. Exactly that. So well called on that side. But it definitely kind of puts a bit more pressure onto Juho now, because now we're trying to pull out these cards without investing as much into the field itself. We're getting rid of the Ketu Dracotail. So this could be quite interesting if we have another one. But it looks like Mululu.
That works.
So that's very interesting, because this time the K9 Xyz is on the field. And this is very interesting because we are going to get rid of have one card in the hand, as well as having knowledge. So we see 2 Nibiru's and an Fake Veiler. This is not a lot, to be honest. We are going to get rid of one of them till the end of the turn, and yeah, that is very, very important. That is crucial to be able to resolve, in my opinion, the force release, to be able to use the interactions, the interruptions as good as we can.
This was smooth by Yoho, though. I feel like that is completely shutting down Marco, as that important Keto was destroyed, and there is no other one to follow it up. But we are resolving the Mululu still, and there is a Falion, so maybe I was too quick in judging there, as Marco can still extend his plays, and of course can now also add back those Dracotail monsters from his graveyard. Yeah,
I think this is actually quite interesting to see, because this is one of the very few Dracotail games you'll see where Femena hasn't been easily accessed. So it does rely a little bit more on the Frixel, it will rely a little bit more on the Mululu. So it's kind of going to come down to, do we want to be adding back our Dracotail resource, or do we want to try and think about the next possible turn and add a different hand interaction that could be a little bit more effective for us, depending on how far we want this game to kind of go on for.
Yeah, and this game is going back and forth like the first game. That is what is really interesting when you see some Dracotail games.
Are we adding back a Perulia? That can't be right, with that full field there.
I don't think so, to be honest. It must be the Nibiru or something like that, no?
Yeah, okay, the Perulia goes back down there in the graveyard. For a moment I was like, he put it on top, so I was like, nah.
Wouldn't make a lot of sense, to be honest.
Okay, but here it comes. Also, I think we pointed towards the Rock of the Vanquisher there as well. Has that been used this turn? No, right?
No, I don't believe so. I do think it's also, I think this might be kind of playing on the back of Marco's mind right now, because he's still got the Sectarian Dragon, and at the moment, with only Mululu and Frixel in the graveyard, they are the only Dragon and Spellcaster that could possibly be used as a revival option here. So that might have changed why he wouldn't add back the Frixel rather than Nibiru, because I now believe we have 3 Nibirus in hand.
Lupus.
So yeah, the Lupus is back on the field, and this is very interesting because we are going to get access to another Xyz 5, and it might just be the Reaper which is so good in this matchup. I think Joho is just considering his options, and he's gonna summon that. I don't think like
it could be Jax as well, maybe?
Jax would be good. I think Valen doesn't make sense, of course, against the Dracotail strategy, unless you want to book the Secretarian, but that's only going to be Valen.
Okay.
So I guess we are going to book the Secretarian, right away, which is going to go face down. So it is still going to be usable by fusion material, but
now in the beginning, preemptively destroyed K2 Dracotail in the hope to get rid of it entirely for the rest of the turn, but Marco found a way to replace it, so this K2 Dracotail will resolve now. And what we have seen throughout the entire tournament so far, when K2 Dracotail resolves, it is doing quite some damage.
Yeah, I suppose this is going to be quite interesting to see exactly what kind of material you want to use from the hand, because remember we still have Pan. If you want to get Femena into rotation, you might want to consider that, but it might be a little bit too late to kind of utilize it. The best thing, I think we're going to be eyeing up the Urgula and possibly the Pan, so one of those two might make its way here. I feel that we know all of the monsters on the field. Apart from the Rock of the Vanquisher, everything's kind of been used, so Urgula might be the safest route, considering that one card along the Spell and Trap Zone is still unknown, could be a massive turning point in this duel right now.
True, absolutely, and Marco is just considering his options. It should actually be the Urgula, I guess.
Oh, it is 5 mana.
It is 5 mana.
That's an interesting choice.
And we're going to fuse away the Secretarian, so the Valen doing some work, but still we see the Mysterion. So this is the third time we see him.
That's crazy. I saw like 50 duels of the Dracotail deck, and maybe once I saw the Mysterion being summoned, and now in the second time for this match here already, Marco really making use of that card. So it is justifying its place in the Dracotail extra deck here.
Yeah, Mysterion is the new Arsalion being used in every single game, literally. And it makes a lot of sense in this matchup, to be honest. We are going to special summon finally the Gulamel, and we're going to be able to destroy another card, I guess. Is there a response from Juho?
Chainlink won the Urgula in the graveyard, and if there is no response, that would mean the Gulamel comes after. But hard-drawn trap card. Snow Devil, how many reveals do we have?
3 attributes, maybe?
It wasn't 3, right?
It is 2 for the moment.
It was only 2, yeah. He was done revealing pretty quickly, so I don't think it was 3 at all. 2 would still not be horrible.
And just chaining. So this is very important here, of course, for those who watch currently. We don't want the Gulamel to be able to destroy things on our side of the field, so we decided to chain the trap card so that the Gulamel cannot respond directly to a Dracotail card activation. So yeah, we preserve part of our field, but Marco doing a good job, to be honest. I mean, Juho doesn't have the full field, but still.
I mean, it's a repetition of game one, kind of, right? Like, game one started with Marco, of course, opening up the play, but then Yoho breaking his field entirely and setting up a field afterwards. And this time, we skipped the part of Marco starting up the duel, but Marco again playing into a field of Yoho. You're really, really, really good again.
Yeah, so this is quite interesting as well. We've only revealed 2 different attributes. One of them was being Holly Sue, and then another one of those cards. So it kind of shows that there might not be the right attributes you want in the hand to reveal for the Holly Sue as well, which kind of stumps Juho a little bit. It kind of shows the fragilities or the crack in the Vanquish Soul canine structure and armor a little bit, because making sure you have the right attributes is massively, massively important. But we're seeing Marco here very well putting together a field to try and combat exactly this. And it's very nice because it's 4-3 at this exact moment in time on the monsters against each other. And it looks like we're going to be using the Arthulion to try and tackle that Nash Knight.
And that's very interesting because, of course, we are going to enter battle phase and try to just destroy the Nash Knight and every single monster that we can. But we are not going to be able to get rid of the canine werewolf, who is pretty strong, actually.
It is, and I mean, that attack, I was just wondering, right? Nash Knight is too big for that attack once more, right? Because the attack points are modified for the Dracotail monsters on the side of Marco, and therefore the defense points of Nash Knight were not able to be overcome there because it is a healthy 2,700 points of defense. So, as we see there, Nash Knight staying on the field.
It is a very strong Nash Knight, actually.
Yeah.
Very solid.
Because you can't forget that there is banished cards, and I think it is 2 of them right now.
True.
Or maybe it's 3, right?
To be honest, I forgot about that.
Yeah. The attack modification is still applying. Oh. We're still discussing. Wait, hold on. How much is the reduction? Nash Knight has 2,700, but then it is... They're still discussing, though. Oh. Or wasn't... Which one was the one reducing it? Wasn't it Aphelion? Okay, so they are discussing it and they are trying to figure out a solution here, but it seems like it is all... Or did he maybe declare a different target there?
So yeah, they are trying to fix that.
It is being destroyed by battle, okay. Ultimately, we have decided that
but
it
not
is
that
the case.
solid.
Yeah. It was very, very solid, but still big enough to be overcome.
Yeah, I think it's actually really important that we probably don't get rid of the Valon as well, because if we get rid of the Valon will take care of one of our trap cards we have set. We already know is the Dracotail Horn, which can be very, very important. The other benefit of taking care of that Nash Knight is it puts that Albion into the graveyard for you, which we are seeing resolve here, which allows Marco to resolve and add a Branded Fusion for the follow-up of the next turn, while also getting his Effect Veiler back to the hand, which can be very, very useful should Juho try to use anything to interact with his field during Juho's turn.
And that's very interesting because we still have 2 monsters on the field, and as you just mentioned, also the Valon. The Valon is going to be able to use its effect right away to try to get rid of either the Mysterion or the Gulamel. I think the Mysterion makes a lot of sense since you want to try to special summon some monsters, but we have the Effect Veiler. We knew that one, of course.
Yeah, and we had to give up on the targeting protection by detaching.
But right away you link them away, and then you are able to use Valon's effect probably. Oh, so there is a timing where Marco can react.
Oh no,
yeah.
Horn.
The Horn. That makes a lot of sense, to be honest, because you don't want the Valon to go into the graveyard that easily, because it would just take care of the Horn and force it, and also you would be able to special summon something like an SP Little Light, which would take care of another card.
Yeah, and as you mentioned previously as well, it's so important that where you have the ability to chain an additional effect, which we've just seen here with Juho to chain the Lupus from the graveyard, it stops the Gulamel becoming the exact next moment to destroy another card. And what we're trying to do here is limit Juho's access to monsters on the field to stop an SP Little Light.
But hear me out, if the plan was to link up the Werewolf and the Valon anyways, I think from Juho's side, it would have been a smart move to just first action in the main phase, put that werewolf into defense position. When you plan to link it off anyhow, like
That
it's
is
not about
right.
attacking or anything, and then you would have been safe from that Dracotail horn there, but you wanted to be quick with it, wanted to link it off, but Marco was like, as long as there is an attack position monster, I may as well put it back into the extra deck.
It is actually a very, very good point you got there, but still we have access to Valon and the Madlove, Dr. Madlove on the field. I mean, it's still going to be very hard because Marco is going to be able to just fuse with 5 mana, and we are going to chain, of course, the Dr. Madlove. We don't want the Gulamel to resolve, basically.
That's true, and I think that means now that we can change the battle position of a monster there with the Dr. Madlove, right? But still, we will be able to resolve that effect of 5 mana, of course. So we revealed a Dark Monster, which was just another Dr. Madlove.
So we are going to make probably the Arsalian lose some
so
some attack points.
Yeah, the Dr. Madlove revealing the dark makes one of your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack and defense.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're okay. We're fusing with the Ash, right? That's interesting to see.
That is a statement.
Indeed, a statement. I mean, maybe if we go into Aphalion, of course, we could quickly recycle it as well. But is there another Aphalion even for him here?
And we try to destroy, of course, the field spell, and that is, of course, very good. I mean, wow.
Oh. What's the discussion here? Okay, we are doing that. We are destroying the Vanquish Sword start with the Gulamel. That finally worked. Yuhu was doing his absolute everything, always chaining something to Dracotail effects, but this time there was nothing more to chain, so it will be destroyed. But there is Jokel, of course, still waiting in hand.
Yeah.
We knew that since turn 1, and we also revealed the Holisu, so finally time to bring some more level 5 monsters onto the field. Oh, Marco, considering whether he needs to do something right away, but no.
The Jokel will be able to search something, so we can just get access to something like Izuna, which would be able to special summon itself, which is, of course, always good to see, as this is another body on the field to try to use as materials, whether it is Xyz or, of course, the Aspilidon Light. And remember, there's still the Valon on the field, which can be used, and yeah.
Okay, what are we revealing here? That is now...
So we are taking a monster.
We're taking control this time.
Yeah.
Oh, what do we want? Do we want the Mysterion or do we want the Aphalion? It's your choice, Yuhu, but you have to take something, and there it is. Mysterion goes over to his side. Usually you see the Vanquish Soul Holisu effect to special summon from the deck, but of course this one also nothing to sneeze at, just a casual snatch steal there, taking control of that big fusion monster.
That's pretty good because you can just link it off right away and use it as a material for something like Aspilidon Light, and you get rid by the in the same way from the Gulamel or something like that. I mean, that could be something.
Carefully executing here on Yuhu's side. He doesn't want to make a mistake. He's down a game. Every mistake for him could mean he's out of the tournament. But still, with now below 15 minutes in time, this is getting even more intense, with that time factor now also being something to additionally consider.
And there is the Reaper, of course, very good card, crucial card. We've got the Ash Blossom, and we are going to decide if we negate it or not, but no negation, of course.
Didn't even think about it. He didn't even blink and immediately said, sure, that's fine. Alrighty, I'm keeping the play going because I rather want to have that Ripper effect to negate something such as Nibiru or 5 mana. And, okay, that's a Link summon now.
The Saryuja? This Saryuja probably is going to hit the field. Very good card in the Vanquish Soul K9 strategy. Of course, the fact that we have less Vanquish Soul names, but still we can get access to Saryuja thanks to the addition of Noroi, which brings so many bodies on the field and lets you get access to the Vanquish Soul cards as well as some non-engine, which are, of course, very good.
Cards is crazy. Of course, you have to put the majority of them back to the deck, but still filtering for your deck makes it so appealing. On the other hand, Marco, sneakily enough, summoned that Aphalion into a zone that the Saryuja Skuldred is pointing to, so even his monster, his Aphalion, is now a little bit bigger. Okay. Has Yuhu decided? I think he's still trying to figure out what the third card is that he wants to return to the deck. Must have been a lot of good cards that he drew there, so that he doesn't even really know what to give up on.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to start taking the clock into account right now as well. So this is something that we might want to be pushing as far as we need to try and kind of clear this game up. We're going to go reinforcement of the army. This is going to directly get us into our Vanquish Soul Arisen right here. So we are going to be able to push a bit more, but I feel that this is Joho's turn to finish it off.
That's very good, of course, because we have the ability to special summon the Raisin thanks to the Saryuja, and that is why this monster is so good in the Vanquish Soul Canine strategy. You are not only able to cycle through your deck to try to see a lot more cards, to try to dig into it and to get access to this non-engine, but also you are able to special summon the Raisin even if you have already used your normal summon earlier, like in this example, the Dr. Madlove.
Yeah, and that's actually really important, because sometimes the struggle with the deck was whether you wanted to normal summon Noroi or whether you wanted to normal summon the Raisin, because both of them are actually insane normal summons.
Why
but
not
that
both?
is just saving that. That is just a solution to that problem, and it's no problem anymore with a classic Link 4 monster. Honestly, whenever a Link 4 monster is summoned, it is usually game deciding, and I feel like this Saryuja Skullrat could also be very well game deciding here in this instance.
And now we found a way to special summon the Jiaolong thanks to Raisin's effect. Of course, we showed Jiaolong and then we're able to...
Nibiru, the primal being,
and of course, we've got the Reaper.
Gotta be negated.
No hesitation. No hesitation this time, of course. You want to negate it 100%. And yeah, we see that Joho is such a great player, always keeping this effect for the right moment, the right timing. And this time it was, once again, crucial.
It was, but still with 11.5 minutes left on the clock, Marco, he's touching his deck. Does he want to take his cards and shuffle them up for a third game? Or, oh no, it doesn't seem like it. They're really still playing this out. Marco's like, you gotta beat me really here in this game if you wanna be the victor.
Yeah, so we're going for the Caesar Valius here. I think this is the one big difference as it currently stands, is that Marco has some of the stronger monsters on the field, so we have to get access to the Caesar Valius in order to have enough to kind of clear one of them off. Another really important thing to do is two monsters enter or go into the graveyard at the same time, we'll be able to recur some of these Dracotail advantages. We already know that Marco has that Branded Fusion as the follow-up if it gets back to his turn, so it's really kind of dictating, do you feel now is the right point to go to game 3, or as you're already one game up, do you feel you have enough resource to hold your own and push through for the final 5,200 damage that Yuho currently has left of his life points?
Yuho carefully, I even want to say possibly too carefully, just deciding here on which card he wants to destroy with the Caesar Valius.
Yeah, so...
Oh no, we switched position
first.
first.
We switched position of the Arcadian, and then we enter battle phase to try to get rid of some of the resources of Marco here. Very interesting way to just play this one out. And as you just mentioned, we are 10 minutes away from deciding who will go into the top 8. There must be so much pressure on their shoulders right now.
It is, and also you can really tell the viewers. There's thousands of people here in the venue in Bologna, and also quite a bit of people now here in the feature match area checking out this match. And still, you could hear someone just slicing a banana in here. I don't know. It's like it's so calm in here, because everyone just is looking at this match and can't believe how close it is.
Absolutely, we're all like in the library right now.
Yes.
Everybody catches his breath, and we are trying to find whoever will gonna come out on top right here. Remember, Joho back against the wall. He's 0-1 in this duel, and if he wants to go into the top 8, he's gonna have to win another one after this one, but one game at a time. For now, he is going to have to take care of all the monsters on Marco's field, and it's not an easy task at all.
Yeah, I think this placement of the Arfulion from Marco is actually causing a couple of issues here, because going to that zone that Skuldred is pointing to is giving him the additional benefits, and it's kind of made Yuho kind of forget about those additional benefits that are being provided there. Just made it a lot trickier to push through in that particular battle phase, still giving Marco a very good chance to be taking this on the next turn.
Yeah, and that's what also Marco was reading up on again, because it's not only attack points, but also defense points that you're gaining from Saryuja Skuldred, and therefore it is still sitting there on the field. Marco's life points barely damaged to that turn, still with the lead, but the lead in life points doesn't necessarily mean under the new time rules that he's also just winning that game. They have to finish this game and this match in 8.5 more minutes, and it is the turn of Marco once more here.
And it's all about resources right now. 3 cards in hand. We are going to switch back the Arcelion in the attack position. Do we have what it takes to just get rid of the CZR values, but also the SP Lunar Light? There is the Reaper. Still no effects on the Reaper because we used it during the last turn, but there is the Force Release, which will get activated right now. We know that is very important, of course, because we are able to destroy something on the field, in this case the Arcelion, but also because in Chain of an Effect, you are going to be able to take the information, see the opponent's hand, and remove 1 card from the hand as well. And with only 2 cards left after that,
he's passing over though. Yeah. Okay, this must be the writing on the wall for this game, and that would lead us to maybe enough time for a game 3. Marco, he's sorting his cards. He's not even picking them up. He does not want to give this one up, but there
Finally,
we have it. Only one of them possibly to advance into top 8. Who is it going to be? Marco for certain will be the one starting it off here with the normal summon of Ligrius. That's good.
That's good, actually. And as you just said, gentlemen, we need some high-impact cards right now. We don't want our opponent to play too long, of course. We want to stop the things as soon as we can. So do we have something like the Retaliating Say? That is going to be the question right now.
No response.
No answer from Duel, and that is huge, actually. We could have something like the Retaliating, of course, but we're going to see something, maybe if there is some Mulch Armies or something like that, because this is almost very
Prosperity. So we are looking at 6 cards here, interestingly enough, that I think is a card I believe to be in the side deck of Marco. So we were talking about options for going first. Marco just likes to have a more consistent deck when going first, so siding that card in makes total sense. But we're struggling to find 6 cards to banish here. Come on, Marco, every second matters, so you better find those quickly here. What are we giving up on, and what are we revealing? Okay, it is resolving. What do we get? Joel, Malulu. Oh, look at that. Light and Sublimation Dragon there revealed. That's another going first option in the side deck.
Absolutely, very good card to try to play around something like the Retaliating, but of course we've
Droll,
already
Droll,
checked that, and Droll is a very good answer. Of course, this is very good into the K9 and the Vanquish strategy, trying to limit...
but there's Fuvalos!
But we have a way to play around that, thanks to the Droll.
Double Fuvalos! But you said it, we have Droll and Lockbird in our hands, so maybe now a consideration to use it on our own turn to deny additional draws for Yuho here.
I mean, I think so, if you don't want your opponent to draw that. On the Arcelion, this is one of the best interactions, of course. We don't want Marco to get some more resources. And here, Joe, what a hand! We want some high-impact cards, and that's some.
Wow, Yuho, and cold as ice, right? When you look into his face cam, he just drops both cards like it's nothing. He's ready to win this here, but still time ticking lower. 3.5 minutes now approaching, and Marco's still resolving his own cards.
Marco, I know the exact cards I would have set here. I expect all 3 of these trap cards set, pass over to Juho. Juho then needs to navigate with pretty much a balanced hand limit right here now. Navigate through all 3 of those trap cards. And Azuna's going to be added even more.
This is huge! This is actually huge! We're going to get access to another Xyz5, and it's probably going to be the Reaper as usual, as we've seen before. That is actually a very good situation to be in. Does Marco have anything? Nothing on resolution.
You know what would be crazy here? This is a very good Zeus line, but I mean, with only 3 minutes remaining, do we want to sacrifice our battle phase like that? A protected Zeus for the Lupus would be huge, but maybe we don't have the time to do that anymore. It would clear up the entire field though, which may make it worth.
We're going to special summon the Reaper, of course, and that's very, very good. Getting access to the Reaper at the start of a turn, and Marco, I mean, wow! He still has the Drown Logbird though, but the Reaper can negate it, so it is pretty difficult for him. And remember, Reaper 2 minutes and a half on the clock.
Very, very important here, keeping the K9 Ripper in defense position, because not only do we maintain the targeted protection, but we're going to be stopping the Drown Logbird straight away.
Oh my, a little over 2 minutes. This is really intense. This is deserved to be our last round. Holisu though!
That is huge! That is huge! He will be able to special summon the Holisu in defense position, and being able to special summon something from the deck would be absolutely amazing there. Marco doesn't have a lot of things to try to prevent that. Of course, we know that there are the 3 trap cards, but which one will be really effective against that?
Okay, Jalong and Joko revealed. Vela.
Oh, that's a good one!
The good old Holisu. Marco giving it his all. Oh my, not even 2 minutes remaining. How are you going to do this?
And now we know everything on the side of Marco. We know that there are the 3 trap cards, but no more cards in hand. So Joho, he can just play with full knowledge. Does he have what it takes to try to...
Oh yeah,
Nora is a good one.
Bad.
Ooh, can we normal summon Noroi? There's
Oh, he doesn't have cards in hand. You're right, you're right. There's no cards in hand.
True that. And Joho realizes that. 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock.
Ooh, that took some precious seconds off the clock as well. That ain't helping at all.
Needs to make the decision what we're bringing down, so it looks like we're going to be trying to bring down the Noroi with the Dracotail here. We still know that there is Sting, we know there is Flame, we know that there is Horn as well. Everything needs to go into defense position to try and play around that Horn. This is very, very defensive, but that's not what you want to be with 1 minute left on the clock and ticking down fast.
Absolutely, and I think that Marco at some point will try to just activate something like the Sting to try to get a draw and maybe an interruptions to try to stop Joho from extending.
And I mean, let's face it, last round of Swiss, both of them want to go into top 8. It's hard to scoop in those kind of games, right? A double loss doesn't really help both of them.
No.
But also, like, nobody really can tell who's really going to win this one if it goes to full distance. But in 30 seconds, we ain't going to be able to finish this match entirely. I am almost certain.
This is so stressful.
Knight.
Using the Horn or not?
Yeah,
oh,
probably.
Marco.
You can use that on your own Arsalian, of course. But thinking a lot, Marco, and he doesn't take a decision, but he's fine.
Oh, he takes it over, okay.
Touch in.
Oh, okay, keeps on going.
Anything that goes into a tap position must be hit with this Horn right now. Going with Lantern with the Dracotail, and time is at 0. Is there much more to be done? Sting to stop the Lantern.
Maybe we have a little bit of overtime. I think in between we had a slow play warning for Marcos. There is a chance, but there is a couple more moments. But oh, it looks like they have just been told. Look, I think they are debating. They're looking at each other. This does feel like a double loss situation, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like we're packing up.
All right, yeah, let's bring